Do you consider yourself to be frugal? One key approach to being frugal or frugality is the ability to save more money, reduce your debt, and achieve those long-term goals that we're looking for to set you financially free. In today's video, we're going to be looking at 10 frugal habits that Dave Ramsey recommends, starting with our first one, creating and sticking to a budget. Now, for me, I am a financial counselor. This is something I love to do. Having a budget and living within your means is something that I feel like a lot of people have completely put out to the wind. They don't do it at all. But when it comes to a budget, knowing how much money you're earning, how much you're spending, and exactly what you have left over is the game changer. It is the foundation to controlling your expenses and knowing exactly what you want to save, how you can save. By tracking income and expenses, you can identify any areas that you need to cut or that you're spending over on. Makes a big difference when it comes to frugality. Now, the second one is that emergency fund. Now, when we think of baby steps and emergency funds, this is something you absolutely have to do. This keeps you from borrowing. This keeps you from the credit card debt, from the unsecured borrowing. When something happens, you have money set aside already. Being in the frugal mindset, because you're living within your means, you have a certain portion of your income that is dedicated to the savings. Building that emergency fund is imperative. And of course, paying off the debt. Now, it seems like these might be Dave Ramsey's the 7 baby steps, but overall, eliminating debt gets you the ability to keep your paycheck. That's it. When you talk about earning money and not wanting to work as much, earning more money, the money that you earn doesn't matter if it's $10,000, $50,000, $100,000. It doesn't matter how much money you earn. It is how much money you actually keep in your pocket. If I'm earning $100,000 a year and I'm spending $120,000, there's going to be a $20,000 deficit that is going to be created every single year, regardless of how much you do. This is where the debt snowball and the debt avalanche methods come in, paying that off and eliminating that debt. And you can actually keep your money, guys. It's a crazy concept, I know, saving for things to buy it versus buying it, instant gratification today, and then spending the next 5 years paying it off. It is a game changer. And that goes into number 4, avoiding debt at all costs. When it comes to cards are very bad because of the interest rates. Even right now, we took out a credit card or I think some sort of loan. We bought new furniture. It is through Synchrony Bank, 38.99%. You talk about a way to really kill your budget and absolutely decimate any savings plan you have. Try paying 39%. Now, granted, they gave us 21 months at 0%. At the end of 21 months, it goes back to that 38.99%. And the interest will accumulate from day one of the purchase, meaning 21 months of interest at 38.99%. That is going to be a very hefty payment if I do not spend it or really pay it off within that 21 months. Now, of course, to get into the financing, they gave us 25% discount on the furniture we bought because we financed it versus just paying cash. Now, I have the cash to pay for it. We're just going to pay it off when the first bill comes. But overall, we saved 25% by not going into debt or using the debt cycle to get the furniture, knowing there could be associated fees with it, there could be expenses, and they're really relying on you not paying it off. Number 5, we look at the envelope cash system management. Now, this is an old school way to manage everything. Right now, a lot of people use virtual wallets. They use multiple bank accounts. There's a lot of different ways, but when you spend cash, psychologically, it feels different. When you have those $20 bills, when you have those $100 bills, it feels different. Putting money into a specific category. So let's say you budget, $200 a week for food. Putting $200 in an envelope can really make a difference because when that $200 is spent, that's it. It's done. You don't have any more to spend. Might mean putting a few things back at the grocery store. But when you start looking at everything in your life, you could do this. If you're doing it for entertainment, if you're doing it for utilities, knowing exactly how much you're spending and really building that budget is a game changer for the rest of your life. Number 6, we look at buying used instead of new. Now, there are a ton of things when you think of the frugal mindset that you can get the exact identical item. And there's a lot of ways to get it very heavily discounted, which is kind of crazy. When you look at big ticket items, looking at cars, looking at furniture, I do not and really will never buy brand new cars. The reason being depreciation. When you drive a car off the lot, even in this day and age with inflated prices, they say it's losing 10, 15, some of them even 20% to depreciation on day one when it comes off the lot, which is kind of crazy. When you think of getting a car a year or two older, I've seen the difference of, let's say, a $50,000 car. If you're buying the variation or the one that is already 2 years old, seen one that had about 15,000 miles, guess what? $20,000 cheaper. that is eating the depreciation, guys. I will absolutely buy that $35,000 car versus that $50,000 car because, of course, it is a lot cheaper to get and a lot easier with the monthly payment. And for me personally, I just pay for vehicles outright. I don't want to finance it. I don't want to finance $35,000, end up paying $42,000 over the next 5 years. That is essentially $7,000 of the financing cost that I could keep in my pocket that I don't have to worry about at all. That money that you could spend on vacations, you could spend on trips. I could spend $7,000 more investing, which is something I absolutely love to do. You could also go to thrift stores, garage sales. I know Facebook Marketplace is a place we've gotten actually quite a bit of our furniture in super cheap, guys. When people are getting rid of $1,000 bedroom sets and we pay $150 for them, yeah, we got to move them. But you know what? I am saving 85% off the retail price, which is kind of crazy. Number 7, cooking at home instead of eating out or meal prepping. This is something that me and my wife do every single week. We make all of our lunches for the entire week. We get everything set. We have kind of a schedule. We know what we're going to be making, what is going to be required to make those items. It is really, really important when it comes to dining out, even thinking of McDonald's, fast food, even local places. It is super, super costly. It is a very high price tag. Even thinking McDonald's family 4, you're talking probably $45, $50, which is kind of crazy. I know there's some ways, depending on what you have, to get a little bit cheaper. When you start looking at home cooked meals, not only do you get and save some money, but it is also a very healthy substitute. You know what is going in the food, you know what you're putting in there. Makes a really big difference, especially if you have a larger family, because it can get very expensive. Now, when it comes to expenses, planning for big purchases. This is something that we do. This is budgeting for big ticket items. For instance, I have not had a car payment for 8 years. That's right. It might be kind of crazy to a lot of people, but it has been 8 years since I had a car payment. I know there's going to be a point in the future as my car continues to age. I am going to need a new car. It's coming. I know it's coming. My car has about 50,000 miles, runs really well. I run my cars until they are completely done. But like I said, 8 years of no car payment. Same with my wife, 8 years that we have had no car payment. Now, within that time frame, we have been saving hundreds of dollars a month because we don't have those car payments in anticipation of knowing those car payments are coming. So if we're going to buy, let's say, another $35,000 car, we have the ability to just buy the car outright because we have been saving those monthly car payments in a high yield savings account and really putting the money aside. When it comes to cars, when it comes to appliances, when it comes to vacations, I see a lot of people that are borrowing money and going into debt when it comes to vacations, when it comes to weddings, when it comes to a lot of things that if people only prepared for and really set aside money for those big purchases, it would be a game changer for their entire life. So instead of borrowing $25,000 for a wedding, ending up spending and really paying back $35,000, not only starting the marriage in debt, but paying back an additional $10,000 of interest. It is kind of crazy how much people do put into debt and how much people do put into financing. Number 9, limiting your impulse purchases. Now, this is something that the delayed gratification has to come in. And honestly, challenge yourself, test yourself, see if you can do it. If there is something that you want to buy, give it a 24-hour cool down. If you still want to buy it after 24 hours and it fits in the budget, absolutely go ahead and buy it. Another thing we have done is a no spending week. This, of course, does take a little bit of prep, takes a little bit of time, making sure that your cars have fuel, everything of that nature. But that means not going to the gas station, not going to the store, not going out to eat. No spending weeks mean nothing at all that you're going to be spending during that week. And it does make a big difference. Honestly, there's something that I might see on a Wednesday of a no spend week. I don't buy it. And essentially within the next couple of days, I forget all about it because it is that no spend week and I'm not buying anything. It really assesses if you truly need it. That is the big question mark where I feel a lot of people fail. Do we need more stuff or are we happy with what we have? Can we use what we have? Are there things that we can repurpose? Are there ways that we can get things cheaper? There are so many different ways that you can get it cheaper and you can save an incredible amount of money. And the final one we're leaving you with, living below your means. This is really the big Dave Ramsey philosophy ever since I followed him for years and years and years at this point. When you think of frugal habits, when you think of making really life a priority over stuff, really looking at the needs versus the wants, it is a game changer for the rest of your life, guys. When you start really looking at the lifestyle you want, the lifestyle inflation, trying to keep up with the Joneses, it is not worth it at all in the earlier in life, really. that you learn that, it is going to be literally better for the rest of your life. All right, guys, so that is going to do it for today's video. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. And as always, thank you guys for watching.